Hello, welcome back to the A Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ameer Hamid. Joining me today will be Brant.
Hey.
And Mauro Cesario.
Hey, how are ya?
Brant, a little trouble off the gun there? Like you took a couple seconds there.
I'm struggling. I'm sorry. I've got a lot of moving parts on this end now. I got this screen in front of me. You guys are trying to clean up my sound. I don't like it, but whatever. We got to figure it out.
Damn it, Brant.
You can hear me all right, though? We're good?
I mean, I think it's the mic from your laptop right now, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
It'll sound better. It'll sound better for the people.
I know, which is brutal
Sorry.
for us.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a busy podcast today. We really have news in all four major sports for the first time in a while.
We also missed a podcast, so I mean, we have a lot to catch up on.
We did. We
haven't done one since the start of the NHL season, have we?
No, holy shit.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
that's
we
going
have
to be
craziness.
That's going to be a lot of stuff.
We have a lot to get through in a little amount of time.
Yeah. So,
we can do it.
Okay, let's start off with the NFL in what week was it, Mauro?
It would have been week 5.
Okay. Week 5 in the NFL. A successful week for some. For other, actually, I don't know if it was a successful week from our picks, to be honest.
No.
What do you think, Brant?
Big win for me. I'm not going to lie.
Average. Mauro finally finished tied atop of the leaderboard, which is great. That's the closest he's ever been to winning it.
It's a sign of things to come.
He's still 11 back, and it's not looking pretty.
Hey.
But the one positive note we could take is that we know who the Thursday curse is.
Hey.
It's no longer me.
Yikes. I'm a victim of my circumstances. It's not my fault. It's Greg the Leg.
Dude,
he can make a 60-yarder in the Super Bowl, but God forbid he make a chip shot for him in a regular season Thursday night game. Yeah. Absolutely brutal.
Yep. I think if Greg the Leg missing a routine field goal doesn't speak
44 yards,
then I don't know what does. 100% you're the curse. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. And
yes, that's it.
If I lose this week, then it's just guaranteed it's the curse. Because if somehow the New York Giants beat the New England Patriots, then I'm just done. Should we get into that first? Do we all agree New England is going to win this week? Mauro, you're the only one that would go otherwise.
Did you see the inactives list for the Giants? How can I take them?
It's a mess.
They
have
no Gallman, no
running back. They've got
I'm next
no wide
in line
receiver
to play for them. They've got so many injuries.
Starting running back this week, Mauro Cesario.
Number 20. I don't know. 3. I don't know.
23. Whatever's left.
Give it to me.
Dude, it's a mess. I thought they had a bit of a chance if Barkley came back, but apparently he's out now.
He's out.
No.
Ingram's out. Shepard's out.
Yeah.
Gallman's out.
Shepard's out also. Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Shepard's got another concussion.
I'll take the Pats. It's not a game that I really want to watch.
Are you concerned as a Giants fan that Shepard's got another concussion this year?
Yeah.
I mean, he got one already, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, to have another one this close together, that's frightening, man. Like, I've been down that road, and like once you get one, and if you have another one that quick, like they are really frequent after that. And like, as your number one receiver, that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, it was what? He missed the first couple weeks, plays one game, and now he's out again. Like,
But that's the thing
with 2 games, right?
It is concerning, 100%.
Yeah.
But with possession receivers, like that's the big issue. Look at like him and Jarvis Landry this year. They both had concussions.
Yeah.
And because you're going over the middle of the field, while it's incredible to have these guys, like your Julian Edelman's, your Danny Amendola's types, the shelf life of them isn't great just because like you kind of got to like hustle them in, get them out. Like,
look at Julian Edelman. Like he is not really a factor this year. Like as far as Julian Edelman standards.
Not last week in PPR. What's up? Yo, Mauro, tell me I'm not going to make the biggest comeback ever in this fantasy league. Let's go. I was 0-3 and now I'm 2-3.
I think
and I'm going to go
I think I've dropped back to back weeks. Yeah, I've kind of
Yeah, Mauro was at the top of the league, and then he faced me, and then he lost back-to-back weeks.
That's
now.
because Connor didn't get 4 extra yards. Okay. 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 Let's not start with that.
Not 4 yards. It was like 3 points.
Okay, that's a catch for 20 yards, and I win.
Yeah, that's
He took. They put Jalen Samuels on the goal line. That would have been my touchdown.
Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves and going with the Thursday night game. Let's talk about
last week.
The last week in football. So Greg the Leg, he fucked me over.
Yeah, but sticking with that storyline, kickers suck.
That was a cursed game. Let's not forget. So
yeah, but there's been a handful of games this year that like went down to the wire. What was it? Matt Gay earlier missed it.
Yep, that was a big win
against the Giants.
Who was it out of the Titans this year or last week? Sorry, who did the Bills play?
Last week,
right?
Yeah. That guy and the kicker missed a bunch of them.
Couple of them.
Yeah, he got cut this week because he missed 4.
Yeah,
he missed 4 kicks. There was a couple other people this week missing kicks. Like
Robbie Gould missed. What was it? A 52-yarder, a 44-yarder in the Monday nighter against the Browns. It didn't mean much because they had that win handily, but
they
still
throttled them.
Goskowski missed a few at the start of the year
he's
too.
Out for the year
he's
now.
out for the year. Yeah.
And Mike Nugent can miss kicks.
Did you hear who the Titans are bringing in to replace Santos?
Who?
Cody Parkey.
Oh no!
So
Man,
that's a big upgrade.
Hasn't the change of the extra point been the worst thing for football?
No, I think it's fun.
I disagree. Because I think you're fucking over kickers.
I had a lot of fun cheering for that last kick that what do you call it? Oh, Zerline missed. I love when they miss things, man.
No,
makes it more fun. I know, you get the extra point. Yeah, but then it's not a guaranteed 7.
It shouldn't be a guaranteed 7. The kicker has to do his job. And I get it gets hard when the conditions aren't the best, but I mean, still, you're playing. Was it not in LA that game, or were they in Seattle?
Seattle.
I mean,
Seattle.
Regardless, like the weather was not atrocious that he should be missing a 44-yard field goal or whatever it was.
No.
Yeah, I think
you have to be good now. You have to be good now. Yeah, sure. I don't hate it. I like the kickers actually have to be good enough to make that. Is it 25? How long? How far is
38 yards? Like
38 yards?
Yeah.
With the what do you call it?
Yeah.
End zone is what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Brant, talk about your Carolina Panthers, because since you've disavowed the Browns and now you're back to Carolina.
I still like the Browns. We'll get to them in a minute. We'll get to them in a minute. But Kyle Allen looks really good. I mean, I think it's a case of circumstance because the team around him is also looking really big. Christian McCaffrey, oh my God. That kid, I might put him in the MVP conversation this year.
I think he is. I think he's top 3.
Which is insane for someone that's not a quarterback.
He's putting up a Gurley type season for a guy who's really undersized, or at least they say he is.
He puts up a ton of rushing yards. He puts up a ton of receiving yards. I think it's I want to say it's the most through 5 weeks. I saw a stat. It was like the most through 5 weeks
for fantasy?
in NFL history or something like that. Just like yards from scrimmage. It's the most yards from scrimmage in the first 5 weeks in like NFL history. Like, that's nuts, man. Like, the guy's having himself a year. And it's carrying the Panthers on top of Cam getting hurt, which was a godsend, and then Kyle Allen stepping in and looking like an NFL quarterback. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Brian Burns has been like the biggest revelation on defense. Their first round pick. He's looked like defensive rookie of the year.
First career touchdown this past week, I think it was.
On defense,
he had a pick 6.
He had a pick 6. Or a fumble recovery. I can't remember what it was.
Something like that.
But then he was offside on one of the many Hail Marys that Gardner Minshew got to throw. He got to throw like 3 of them.
He had so many chances to win. That was the one time you can say that Gardner's magic was not there. Because like he had so many chances to tie that game and just could not do it. Sorry.
So can I bring up the comparison that I gave for Gardner Minshew?
Yep.
I think he's kind of like an Andy Dalton level quarterback. And that's good. Like if you have a team like as good as Jacksonville is on defense and stuff, if they have a Jalen Ramsey, then you can win a Super Bowl with that level of quarterback.
Look at it this way: they made the playoffs with Blake Bortles as their quarterback with a similar team.
It's an upgrade on what they've had.
They took the Pacers to the brink with Blake Bortles and that defense.
Yeah.
So when I used Andy Dalton was a good quarterback for like 8 years, an average NFL quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with average level play.
No,
exactly.
I just don't think that is he a franchise quarterback? Yes and no. Like
honestly, we don't
a lot
really
of guys.
I
think it's a little early to tell whether he's a franchise guy.
Exactly.
But he's a capable quarterback based on the sample size.
Look at a guy.
Nick Foles isn't getting his job back.
No, God, no. I don't think so.
Or do you dangle Gardner
Is Nick Foles going to be another
trade
bait thing? It's like, hey, look who we have.
Why not trade?
Is this the Nick Foles career? Is this like, you're really good, but like you're not as good as our starter? Sorry.
Yeah.
We just like this other guy more.
Yeah. That just seems to be how it's been for his whole career. And it sucks because the guy's got himself a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And without him, they wouldn't have had that Super Bowl. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
It's weird. It sucks. But like on the Gardner point, it's like you can't really judge it because if you look at a guy like Baker Mayfield right now, Baker Mayfield, you could have looked at last year and been like, this guy's a stud. He's going to carry the Browns. And now you look at them and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's not looking great. And like I mentioned during the game, I was like, look at the way Baker Mayfield hands off passes. I just think that it's weird. He's like lunging into he's like midair. It's weird how he's like
things look
not regular.
It's a nightmare because they have no O-line right now either. So he's getting hit a lot.
It's an absolute disservice to him.
Yeah, everything is like a bootleg. Everything's coming out of the shotgun. Like it's very, very bad.
It's an
that offensive line. And like
Freddie Kitchens is doing a horrible job calling it too. I hate it.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to run an offense when the guy's got no time? And B, when he does make a play, like how many picks has he thrown? Like he finished with like negative points for fantasy.
No one's ever open. Like there's been times where he'll have like 5-6 seconds and there's no one to get the ball to.
Yeah, he hangs on to it for a little too long, I think.
Yeah, but even when he does get time, he has nowhere to throw it.
Yeah.
It's like OBJ hasn't been good.
He's been awful.
I think that
Jarvis has been good, but
Jarvis has been.
I think they have three things going against them. I think they have three things. One is they have the receivers that they have right now. They all do really the same thing. They're all the same size. Yeah. I think they really miss David Njoku. The bad offensive line, and then Freddie Kitchens isn't an NFL head coach right now.
No,
three things
awful.
Going wrong, and that's why they're not getting
any one of those things changed, and I think they're a decent team. Like I think they're probably a playoff team. But because you have all three of these things working against each other, it's like this team's a mess.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that their defense really isn't good either.
But the crazy thing is, though, is that they're still in it.
Yeah, they have a strong chance of winning this division still.
That is the craziest part because the same with the Steelers. Like, they're not out of it because the division is what? 3 teams that are what? 3-2 or 2-3? Or
Ravens are 3-2, Browns are 2-3. And then there's
the Bengals.
Steelers are 1-4.
The Bengals that are 0-5 at this point, and it's like, okay, well, you get 2 wins when you play them this year.
With the Steelers on their third quarterback, that's an easy win.
Exactly.
Like Cleveland's going to be in it, but at the same time, we can take out those thoughts that we had of them being a Super Bowl contender because they're not.
But you don't even know that yet, man. Like if they fix any of these things,
you can't fix a bad. How do you fix a bad offensive line?
Exactly. Like you go up against New England's defense right now and say, "Oh, Baker Mayfield, go make plays against our defense."
But they look good against the Ravens. This is what I'm saying. Like they've had games where they're like, okay, yeah, they're not that bad, and then they'll come out the next game and just allow 6 sacks. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, like
it makes no sense. Like I don't know what this team is right now because we can say all these things.
They're not out of it, but they're out of it. In my opinion, they're in it for the playoffs. They're out of it in terms of
you had of them being a Super Bowl threat within those first 5 weeks is now gone because of what we've seen.
Throw it out with this year. Like they need to put legitimate resources into that offensive line because or else Baker's fucked.
Yeah.
Because you can't legitimately give a guy an evaluation based off of this offensive line. And you saw how badly Houston wanted to upgrade with the trade of Larry Tunsil. Like they traded 2 first-round picks for a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got into this argument yesterday with Brandon, whenever it was, but he was saying like, oh, he's in a sophomore slump. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if this is him being in a sophomore slump or this is his entire team around him also being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you've got no O-line, you've got no secondary receivers, you've got a shit head coach. Like, yeah, he's not been great, but he's done some cool shit too. Where you're like, oh, that's Baker. There he is. And then
he has those flashes, like, but then he has the flashes of like, what are you doing? I'd be ringing off the phone, calling Washington and being like, what do you want for Trent Williams? Because I can't have Baker go through this. Cam Irving's not a left tackle in the league. That's why they're moving him from left tackle to center. Like he's not good at left tackle. Everyone's known that.
Yeah. They're getting beat everywhere. Bosa absolutely ran over.
Stud.
I don't even remember who it was.
Mega Man, but a stud.
But he ran. I can't remember the lineman he ran over, but he ran one of the guys. Literally just manhandled and pushed him to the ground, and then just ran on through him like nothing happened. I'm like, you guys suck. I'm like, you should not be getting manhandled like that in the NFL.
But the thing was, like, so Joey Bosa got drafted 3rd overall by the Chargers, and then the next year, that summer, Nick Bosa was going into Ohio State and everyone was saying Nick Bosa is better than Joey already. Like, and you can see it.
Yeah.
And
he looked good.
You know, it's nasty. It's disgusting. Yeah. That San Francisco defense, I think, is legit.
Man, is this team for real?
I don't love the weapons that San Francisco has on offense.
No, but their run game is ridiculous. They ran all over the Browns.
And Coleman, and then you got Mostert. Like, it's a 3-headed monster of like weapons, but they're not standout guys. Like, I think they need like a reliable wide receiver because they have like Debo. Who else?
Antonio Brown's available.
Okay, well, let's not be ridiculous now.
I think that'd be fun. The team that loses Colin Kaepernick signs Antonio Brown. Just
that
stir it up a little more.
That'd be something. Okay, Mauro, what do you think about like George Kittle? And do you think he can legitimately carry that 49ers offense?
Do I think he can? Yes. Do I think he should be? No. Like, George Kittle's the number 1 receiving option in San Fran, like by far right now. Like, they've got him. And then it's kind of 2 mediocre guys that aren't really the caliber that can be a number 1 receiver. Like, they got Samuel and what's his name there? Marquise Goodwin. Yep. I think they're quality guys, but like they're not anybody that you would rely upon to get yourself like the 7 to 10 receptions that can, you know, be that number 1 guy that you need when, you know, if you're going up against a top cornerback in the league. Do I trust any of those 2? No. So
I would really like if they reached out to Minnesota or even Cincinnati and was like, oh, what would it take for Stephon Diggs or AJ Green to come over here? Because then I would be fully
the rumor was Stephon Diggs wanted out, right? That's why he missed practice.
Well, I mean, what do we think of a wink? Who knows? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
It's interesting because that team, like, it's been 5 games now, 4 for them because they had a bye already, but they look really good. Yeah. Like, at this point, if you put a number 1 receiver on that team, you know, the defense looks complete. Yeah. Like, maybe, you know, 1 or 2 other pieces just to shore up the secondary, maybe because, you know, they got Richard Sherman and I forget the second player they got there in the back, but, you know, they got DeForest Buckner in the linebacker. Like, they got quality pieces.
As much as we say the Browns like haven't been like they're not winning, like they've been in every game and they just made the Browns look like a bunch of nothings,
like garbage. Yeah.
So I mean, they're pretty good. Like the Browns have been in good games. Like they played the Rams and they were in that game. They played a couple other teams. I forget who. They were in those games too, and like. You come down to it and you come against this Niners team that you're like, oh, are they for real? And they look very for real against the Browns anyways.
Yeah, like to give up 3 points against a team that was, you know, so hyped up going into this season, like the defense looked really good. And I mean, for the Browns, they really got to figure shit out. So it's you would have thought that maybe they would have at least scored a touchdown, but I mean,
yeah, fuck. Like it's just rough. Maybe the Niners defense is just that good. Like,
okay. So when we look at the NFC West, then, I mean, it's 3 teams that are legitimately really good.
For real, yeah.
The Niners, Seahawks, and Rams. Rank them for me in terms of like, who do you believe in the most?
I don't believe in the Rams were shit because Jared Goff looks horrible this year, but that might just be a personal thing.
Okay. So we all say that, but if Greg Zuerlein makes the kick, then what are we saying? Because he drove the team down.
They still looked
that
ugly.
Was it. They should still be winning that game. Exactly. Like, regardless of whether or not they win that game, he has not looked good. He looked horrible against the Bucs. Absolutely. Like, he threw for 500 yards, and that was probably the worst game I've seen him play.
500 yards, but how many picks against the freaking Tampa Bay secondary?
And he missed wide open receivers. Like, he had 2 chances where he had guys deep, and he missed them by about 8 to 10 feet.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something you do as an elite quarterback.
Like, I'm not going to lie. This upcoming week's matchup between the Rams and the 49ers is going to be a big tell in terms of where this ranking or how accurate it can be, right? Because
agreed.
You know, if you go between what went on in the Thursday nighter between the Rams and Seattle, I'd still take Seattle despite it going down to just a field goal between them. Like, I just like the Seahawks.
I'd still take the Rams. I'm still on that bandwagon.
In what
don't
sense,
have a lot
though?
of,
because like you're telling me that a team like Tampa Bay put up 55 points on that defense. Hold on,
but Tampa Bay, like, I think we all agree that like the offense is legit in Tampa Bay.
No.
I don't know. They're scoring over 20 points in basically every game.
They didn't look that pretty against the Panthers.
Offense,
and I haven't
maybe,
watched
but like
games.
it's a shit team that you should be winning though.
Yeah.
You should be winning against that team.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be for as high and prestigious a defense that the Rams are made out to be to give up 55 points.
That's what I'm thinking. Like the
that's
Rams
a bit
defense
ridiculous.
Really
like
good.
The Giants held them to like 30. And the Giants defense sucks. Like, I'll be the first to say it.
I don't know how much. I just don't know how much I agree with like the love of Seattle. I don't know if I love them quite as much as like
either of these teams. That's how much. Like, it's not that I love Seattle that much more. It's they're all flawed. I agree with that. I think
Russell
100%.
Wilson is having a great year.
He's in the MVP discussion also. He might be the favorite. Yeah.
And I think that's what pushes them to number 1 for me, is the fact that he's really good this year.
Maybe just because I believe in Russell Wilson the most.
Yeah.
I think that's what puts him number 1.
He knows what it takes to win out of those 3 quarterbacks.
Yep. I don't know if we can believe in San Francisco. I'm not really sure yet. I know it's kind of stupid to say after 5 weeks.
In my head, I was kind of making the argument that I believed in them the most, and then I'm like, actually, I think I believe in them the least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
I think
but
for me,
I wouldn't argue with you on either side. Like, they're really good, but like, are they really good? I don't actually know.
Yeah.
And then, like, in terms of like Rams versus Seahawks, it matters where that game is, in my opinion. If it's in Seattle, I'm picking Seattle. If it's in Los Angeles, I'm closer to picking Los Angeles.
I've just lost all faith in Jared Goff.
Yep.
That's what it is for me. That guy looks lost this year.
Like, for me right now, if I had to rank them, I'm going to go Rams, 49ers, or Seahawks, Seahawks, 49ers, Rams. So I would have been going 3 to 1.
I'll swap Rams and 49ers.
So you have
but that's what I mean. It's dependent on what happens this upcoming week, right? Like, because you don't know.
It could all change next week.
Now, based on potential, I feel like the Rams definitely have the highest ceiling out of these 3 teams, because when they're clicking, we've seen what they can do.
Yeah.
When you have Aaron Donald in your defensive side, and you have one of the best head coaches in the NFL, I mean, you always have a chance to be really good.
Agreed.
I think it's simple as that.
Right now, we've seen both sides to the coin. Last year, it was on, one end of the spectrum where they were unstoppable. They were putting up so many points a game. Gurley, up until that point, was a monster. Then he hurt his knee, obviously. And from that point on, like, it's been very inconsistent to the point where you don't know which Rams you're going to get. Are you going to get the Rams that
you don't even know
against Tampa?
Throughout the game, you don't know. Like, there were sections against Tampa Bay where they looked awful, and then there were sections where they looked incredible.
Yep.
Like you don't know throughout the game what Rams team you're going to get. It's just they're so inconsistent.
So moving on to a team that I kind of just don't know either is the Kansas City Chiefs, because they can absolutely outscore
they seem
any
like a surefire bet. Up
that
until
defense
this
sucks.
week. Yeah,
the defense sucks.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And
for
Patrick
me, it's a bit
Mahomes
different. For me, it's a bit different because I feel like I know exactly what they are. It's just I think
team.
Other teams are starting to catch on to this offense. And as impossible as it might sound, like it is kind of predictable though, because you know that he's going to try and sling it for a heave downfield.
So he's been out. So that, like, this isn't even really the offense you're used to seeing, to be fair.
They have so many weapons now. Like the Tyreek Hill injury might have been the best thing that happened to them, because look at their receiving core right now.
Yeah.
Hill, Watkins when he's healthy, Pringle. That guy's been unreal really sometimes. Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Kelsey. 6 fucking receivers. And then that's before even getting to the running backs. They have like 10 options with that offense.
You are missing your best option right now by far.
Yeah,
so that's tough. Like
the biggest,
like as good as these other ones are, it's like you're missing your best one.
Agreed.
Right.
But
Kelsey's taken a lot of that load too. Like they've been going to Travis Kelce a lot.
How injured is Patrick Mahomes?
He did not look good at the end of the game there with that limp. No.
I missed that.
There's a great matchup with Houston and Kansas City this week.
Yeah.
And it's a 1:00 game, which blows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that should have been in prime time.
Yeah.
That should have been
2, if he's not healthy, it sucks.
Haven't they already had like the Chiefs have been in at least one primetime game by now, right? Last week, and then
last week
just had the Sunday nighter.
Funniest story about that Sunday nighter, actually. So we're at work, and the one guy I work with, he's like, "Yeah, look at what my buddy just sent me." So his buddy put a 5-team parlay on the week, and he got all 4 right. He put $15 down. It would have won him 13 grand. The only team he had left, he picked Kansas City. We're like, oh shit, he's gonna win 13 grand. I'm like, there's no way Kansas City loses this game, right? And they fucking blow the game. I'm like, oh my god. He was sitting when he sent that picture. He had a cash out of like $6,500 too, and he ended up going for it. Didn't win the bet. I'm like, that's so.
What did he parlay it on?
I know.
God.
Don't remember some of the games, but like one was a spread, one was the Packers. There's a few things.
The app. Bet365. Okay. Yeah. All right. Should we move on from the NFL?
Yeah, I think we've talked enough.
Got a good bit. So the NBA. The Raptors re-signed Kyle Lowry to a 1-year, $31 million deal. That's a 2-year, $2 million decrease on what they have him on this year. I think the extension's intriguing to me because
I don't get it.
You lock up.
Honest.
You don't get it?
I'm a little confused by it.
Okay.
Like I've never seen a 1-year extension. This is just weird to me.
So the next premier free agency class is 2021.
Okay, so he wants to be a part of that.
No. The Raptors want to hold their money until
that point. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was a little confused. Like I'm not a big basketball contracts guy. That whole situation kind of confuses the shit in me, but I've never actually seen a 1-year extension where it's like a lot of money. Like you see like a 1-year end of your career deal, but like that much money for 1 year. I'm like, what?
Okay. So let me explain it to you. The Raptors next summer have a ton of expiring contracts. Lowry, Gasol, Ibaka, Fred VanVleet. They have 76 and Siakam. They have $76 million of cap space going into next summer. By signing Lowry to the $31 million extension, you now have
45, let's say.
Yes, $1 million to spend next summer.
Yeah.
The Raptors they can sign Pascal Siakam to an extension right now, but that doesn't behoove them to do so by using the cap space to the best of their abilities, because Siakam, with where he was drafted in the late 20s, I think 29th, he has a small cap hold of $7 million. So if the Raptors want to use it wisely, they'll either sign 1-year contracts next summer and then hold it until 2021, or instead they'll just wait until it's the summer sign the guys they want to sign long term. If they want to like send out an offer sheet to someone, and then sign Siakam after to go over the cap because you can with him. Explain
a little bit. It's still like basketball is a different animal when it comes to contracts, man. It's weird.
Yes. So the Lowry perspective of explaining that, you sign him to this $31 million deal that we can all agree it's an overpayment, but it's partially goodwill in you're going to pay the
thank
players
you for what you've done because
exactly.
It's basically
the lifetime achievement award, basically.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
And then it's also, if you want to be a part of us after 2021,
you got to take the pay cut.
Giannis is potentially a free agent, and Paul George, I think Kawhi's a free agent then also.
You're coming on a veteran's minimum.
Exactly. Like you're coming.
We gave you that money.
Like we did good by you. We did good by you. Come be a vet for us. Now
we gave you what you were supposed to get, and we're giving it to you now. For a 2-year
contract, it becomes like 15 between the 2 years after.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Or however much a veteran's minimum is.
Like a mid-level exception. I don't know. Like $8 million. I don't know. But I think it just makes sense because if you're not going to sign a guy that'll legitimately help you in your eyes, it makes sense to perceptionally boost your team's view from like the media perspective, keeping continuity.
Your PR look. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. After you traded DeMar and
you seem like you have no loyalty and all that nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah. It's showing future players that
we do care.
Come here. We care about our players. Yeah. Bingo.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, he's the most important person in the history of the Raptors franchise.
Yeah.
Like he's been here for the whole turnaround.
He's one of the only ones.
It makes sense to do.
He's one of the ones that were a part of the championship team.
Now, the other hand is that apparently if he didn't sign, he would have forced the trade out.
Jeez.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't know how that would have went. I'm just trying to think of like places he would have wanted to go. Philly, they can't afford him.
Spurs.
I think Miami makes sense. Where?
San Antonio.
No, they don't need him.
That's not the point.
They don't need him. They have 2 young point guards. They have 2 young point. The Spurs wouldn't do it.
But he'll figure it out. He'll go be a shooting guard for that.
It's a playoff the DeMar trade. Come on.
Yeah, we'll trade DeMar. We'll get DeMar back.
Imagine that was the flop. I want to go to San Antonio. Okay, we're bringing in DeMar. Thank you.
But that was the whole thing. Like when Lowry was a free agent last time, he wanted to go to San Antonio, but San Antonio didn't want him.
Oh,
and that was So but no,
how come they don't want
I think
me,
it's
man?
Miami, potentially the Lakers. If they traded us back, it would have to been like Danny Green.
Yeah.
Rondo.
Danny Green.
They would have to throw in future assets to make the Raptors want to do it. But like there's not a lot of teams that just need point guards. So I honestly just think that the move is solely based off of like future ramifications of like goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the biggest news in the NBA this week though.
I know. Fucking unreal how big this story got. So basically, the story is that the Rockets GM, Daryl Morey, tweeted out his support for the Hong Kong protesters. And it's major news solely because the NBA is currently in Shanghai as the Clippers and Lakers are going to play a game. And it's really the first bit of controversy that Adam Silver's had to deal with his entire tenure.
Well, I don't know about the first bit. Like he was a part of some other shit, but this is easily the biggest.
The Sterling stuff, but like the Sterling stuff, like it kind of just went away after he
removed him from that spot, right? I think, or he basically forced him out. But it still wasn't like.
But like he got $2 million out of it, $2 billion out of it.
They paid him out basically, but he handled that really well. I don't know how well he's handling this.
So this, like, the whole thing is basically. The mainland of China wants to be able to prosecute people from Hong Kong, and that can obviously lead to unjust things because they could feel like they don't have an unfair shake at like how the judicial process may go. I think that's the simplest way to put it.
Yeah, it's a conundrum that you'll have to look up for yourself if you do want to read into it.
Yeah. And then the protests are getting violent from protesters, but then also the police force and whatever. So like it's just an entire shitstorm on its own. Like it's entirely separate from the NBA. As a
news story, it's ridiculous. Like forget about how it affects us.
I was talking about this with like one of my buddies because he's Chinese and like he's over there a lot. Like he was explaining the situation to me, and now with it having an NBA implications, it's interesting because basically
because
the
it
NBA
wasn't interesting before, right?
I mean, it wasn't relevant to
us. Like
it wasn't relevant to me.
Didn't matter. Like it's a big deal, but
it didn't matter. It wasn't relevant in my life.
Sports only only so sports matter.
This affects
for real.
Where this affects silver and
but how
the
does
NBA
this affect the Leafs?
Is basically the Chinese market is the biggest market in the world.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Most people. The NBA is huge there. That's why all these athletes go there to have their like sneaker deals, and they do like the press runs there because the market is huge.
Yeah.
Basically, with this, with Morey tweeting it, it's the NBA showing disloyalty, I would say, towards the Chinese government.
Well,
because they're upset with
what stance has the NBA taken on what he said?
Basically,
that's
this is where the issue comes from.
Exactly. Like this is where it becomes kind of who are you siding with? Because one of your own, that being Morey, or
he has at this point because he kind of sided on Morey's thing.
Has
and
he?
Basically, what it was like he has the freedom of speech. He like, like we don't really stand with what he said. But like he does have the right to say it.
Every person has
to say it.
But then I'm trying to find.
We agree with him in principle that he has the right to say it, but we don't agree with what he said in terms of.
And it's an absolute clash of like opinions because from a business perspective, the NBA is just like Daryl Morey, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
You're fucking with our money. The Chinese we need the Chinese market.
Exactly.
And especially Houston, where they've had the biggest Chinese superstar that the NBA's ever seen with Yao Ming.
Yeah.
He was a big part of everything.
And now that relationship absolutely severed.
So I have the quote from Silver here. It's like, it's kind of cut and put together, but then
it's two different quotes. It's
this is what I mean.
The quote that they said in English and then the one that they said in Chinese.
It's kind of cut and put together, but like basically what he said is, I think as values-based organization that I want to make it clear. And then it's got the 3 dots. So like there was more in between that they kind of cut. But then he goes that Daryl Morey is supported in terms of his ability to exercise his freedom of expression, which, you know what, realistically over in here, like North America wise, that makes a lot of sense. Because like, you have the right to say what you want. And like, if you want to comment on something that's in the news, sure, go ahead.
100%. Which in principle, he's done nothing wrong. He's exercised his right to express himself and talk.
If you're from China, it's a little different in the sense that you're like, you don't go out and do that. Like you don't make these opinions known. You don't put them out in the public. And it's like, you kind of want to keep that in. So you're not judging the government essentially. Yeah. So basically, CCTV, I don't remember what it stands for. Do you know it?
Closed circuit TV.
It's a Chinese thing anyways, whatever. They came out in the statement against Silver and said, "We're strongly dissatisfied and we oppose Silver's claim to support Morey's right of free expression. We believe that any speech that challenges national sovereignty and social stability is not within the scope of freedom of speech." So basically kind of what I just said is like, it goes against our national sovereignty and everything against us.
The Chinese, not
exactly. Not our, but like what they're saying.
I know. I just wanted to clear that.
But like, they are saying their sovereignty, and like, it's basically just going against what their beliefs are. And like anyone that's going against our beliefs shouldn't have the freedom of speech to say that essentially. So basically it's like a culture battle between that. Is what I'm taking that.
Well, this is kind of fucked now for the NBA because you choose between that.
Yes, you can't win.
It's a lose-lose situation.
It's a catch-22, 100%. Because you're either siding with him saying, no, here we agree with his right to express himself, or you're basically saying, Morey, shut the fuck up. What are you doing? Like, so either way, it looks like a cop-out after because you're just trying to save whatever relationship you have for the sake of the marketing upside it has.
So the NBA is screwed from two perspectives. Let me just get this off real quick. With Morey, there was when this first happened, there was a thought that he was going to be fired, and I think for the NBA looking back at it now, I think it would have been the best thing for them, because if Morey was fired, he would 100% be picked up by another organization, because he's a phenomenal GM and one of the best in the league, like top 3 without a doubt. And it disassociates himself from the Rockets, and then the NBA is looked on in a positive light. Correct. But because they've allowed it to fester in a way, it's continuing to be a story. Like
it looks wishy-washy on the part of the NBA, which isn't good, especially with, like you said before, them having such a strong association with the Chinese market, having Yao Ming been there.
So it's already led to some ridiculous shit. Like now, before we even hit the season, so basically the CCTV was partnered with Tencent, who Tencent streams all of the NBA games over in China. And so Tencent previously said that they're not going to carry any Rockets games. And now, because of what Silver said, they're expanding that. They're now not carrying any of the NBA preseason games that are held in China. So that entire series isn't being shown in China, despite the fact that it's in China. And so they're not showing any NBA content from that. And they're still continuing to not show Rockets games throughout the year. And his his statement was made, Tuesday? It's Wednesday. Yeah. So it's been either way, Monday or Tuesday.
No. It was the weekend.
When? Okay, so it's been three days tops, but this has already turned into this. If you don't have this under control soon, man, like who's to say that you don't lose that market?
I think the best thing is Morey has to be fired
at this point. Like, it's as much as it sucks for him, because like,
and it's purely business. Yeah. That's it.
100%.
Because like, you're either going to lose. Sorry, you lose a good GM, but like if you don't, you're losing billions of dollars. Not like.
You're losing biggest international market. This isn't a small deal
for them. Like so Tencent and the NBA, they partnered in an extension to the 2024-25 season that's worth $1.5 billion.
Jesus Christ.
So in the next 5 years, they're going to be making $1.5 billion from this thing. And if they decide they're pulling out of this because of everything that Morey said, like that's a lot of money to be losing as a business.
Agreed. But like, does him getting I'm playing devil's advocate with myself right now. Does him being fired change everything? At this
point, like, I don't know if it does.
No, because they've let it go on for this long. It just looks like a cop-out, like us trying to put a Band-Aid on something that's already freaking monumental.
The thing is, the NBA can't fire him. It would have to be the Rockets doing it themselves.
Well, plus Silver's already backed Morey's claims, essentially, right? Like, he's like, well, yeah, regardless of what he said, like, we kind of agreed that he has the right to free speech. So basically, they're kind of supporting the fact that he's allowed to say that. So
exactly, and now
what are you going to do? You can't be like, oh yeah, it's fine, we fired him, don't worry. It's like, well, dude, you're still kind of the issue.
Now you
here.
Go back after and say, we've evaluated this further, and we've decided in communication with the Rockets that it's the best that we fire him. Like, come on,
it's the biggest putting your foot in your mouth since Donald Sterling. Yeah. Like, I think this is worse. Yeah. Like, from a business perspective, this is worse.
This is rough.
100%.
I don't know how this. I really liked how we did the segment. First of all, I thought we actually really covered it.
I didn't think we had this, but like, we did all right here.
We had no confidence in ourselves talking about this.
It didn't take long for me to catch on to it, because like I get how these kind of things work, but so it just seems like a big case of you didn't weather the storm early, and now look at where it's led you. And regardless of what you do now, you're fucked.
So
and I like, look at how the Ringer posed it, and how this is our first real time to look at Adam Silver as the commissioner, not
because
as our
up
friend.
Until this point,
everyone loves Adam Silver.
Yeah, up until this point, he's been the best commissioner among sports. Like, there's been nothing bad to say about Adam Silver ever, and it's just like he head over heels better than everybody else, and just like the way he runs the league, his social justice abilities, like everything he does has been pinpoint until now, when it's like
agree. So now the Brooklyn Nets have the new owner, Joseph Tsai. He's the head of Alibaba. AliExpress and all that. Yeah. So he's been having to put him, Yao Ming, like they're trying to play peacemaker with this whole situation. Yeah. And it's kind of like unreal that like a story this big across the goddamn planet could be affecting us here.
There's another piece in this. Everything I've read so far is from this article from CNBC. But there's a paragraph. It goes, on Alibaba-owned e-commerce sites in China, as well as rival JD.com, searches in Chinese for Houston Rockets and Rockets yielded no results.
Wow.
So they're
nothing to do with there's results obviously on Rockets, but it has nothing to do with the NBA franchise. It's just gone. It just disappeared on these sites.
It has
essentially.
to deal with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, that sucks if you're the NBA. That sucks if you're the NBA.
You're losing so much of a market there. So yeah, the TV deal.
China alone could cancel the NBA. In terms of
they could be the NHL in 2 years.
Okay, but listen. So look, the NBA wants to expand in China, Africa, India, create leagues there. Or I don't know about in China, but they're trying to go for the biggest populated markets. And I think there's a belief among all of us, I would at least hope, is that basketball is going to become the biggest of the 4 North American sports.
Worldwide, yes.
It definitely seems that way, especially with how big the media coverage and how well liked it is. Yeah.
The way they handle everything is just above and beyond.
And yet this could tank that.
Just like that. Crazy.
Because China's
a week-long thing.
Out of the 4 main sports,
one tweet from a GM of a team. Yeah, that's insane. That it could have that impact.
Though, man. If that tweet comes out and you handle it right, no problem. This isn't even really a story.
And the Rockets aren't even in China. They're in Tokyo playing the Raptors.
Yeah,
it's nuts. It's Unreal. Crazy. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. I mean. Silver's dug himself quite a hole. It's going to be tough to get out.
Agreed.
On a more positive side of the NBA, though, did you see Ben Simmons hit a 3-pointer?
Oh my God! So he hit 3.
I had no idea,
and it was number 1 in the worldwide trending. Number 1.
I had no idea he'd never hit a 3-pointer before. No idea.
That it went global.
That's so never. The Sixers bench just blew up. They're throwing towels in the air and they're going nuts. It's wow. That first.
I bet you he doesn't. I bet you he doesn't hit a 3 during the season.
No, I'll bet. Can we put a bet on this? I'll bet you he does.
Clean. I mean,
it looked like a really nice. It was switched.
He would have fooled me, man. I wouldn't have said he's never hit a 3 before. It looked like he's.
Mauro, what's the number? What's the over under number?
I think it's 1.5.
Or
0.5.
Oh, relax. Okay, over.
Okay, no, I'll take the over on that for sure.
He's hit none.
Okay, what you want to say? 10?
Oh. How many did Jonas Valanciunas have with the Raptors?
30, 40.
Jesus. Is that not?
He's hitting over 10. He's hitting over 10. All they need Ben Simmons to do is, if he's wide open, shoot. I'm not even saying be respectable. If you're wide open, shoot, because you can't clog up the lane with Embiid. Yeah. If he's wide open and they can just throw him out, and he can at least just shoot it, attempt it, and feel comfortable that much. The fact
he hasn't had then it's a win in a regular season game.
I'm gonna take the under.
I don't think he hits 10.
Okay,
I'm gonna take the
because
under.
He hit 1 in preseason because he was wide open by 8 feet.
Let's log this one down.
Over 10.
10 being the over under. I'm taking under. Brant's taking under.
Hold on, if he's healthy.
Okay. Yeah.
Just as a caveat.
I mean, sure. If he misses games, that's going to have an impact. So sure.
Let's say he averages 10 for the year.
Okay, if we averaged it out, fair. Okay. I feel very confident. And yet he's never made one in the game.
No, that's what I mean. I don't know how
he's going to go from 0 to 10 real quick.
Yeah. He's going to hit 9 in his first game.
He's the next Steph Curry. It's great.
But how unreal is that? The fact that the NBA has that big of a pull to
be the worldwide trend.
A guy making a 3-pointer in preseason could be number 1 worldwide. It's does the world not have anything better to do?
Yeah.
There's postseason baseball on at the same time. And yet the story of the day is Ben Simmons' 3-pointer in the fucking preseason.
Yep. Unbelievable. All right, let's get to hockey.
Yeah, we are quickly running out of time too, so.
All right. really need to touch on baseball that much.
I just want to say shout out to the Rays before we even just before we get to hockey, because the fact that they beat Justin Verlander.
Do it at the end.
No, because I don't want to finish off with baseball.
I'll speak to this too. I don't
want to finish off with baseball. So I don't need to talk about the rest. The Yankees look good, whatever. The Rays, man, the fact that they could beat Justin Verlander in a do or die game when Verlander's probably going to be the Cy Young this year.
Yeah.
3 days rest.
Still, man, he's still Justin Verlander. They did it in a bullpen game too, where they started, Castillo.
Yeah. And now they got Glasnow and Snell ready for Game 5 up against Garrett Cole. It's going to be a good game.
Pitched last night, which was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Whatever, we don't need to get into that. He went 2/3 of an inning, but they weren't pretty. Either way, I wouldn't throw him again. But you have Glasnow, which is sick. So, yeah, shout out to them.
The Astros are minus 300.
Yep. I was this close to betting on the fucking Rays last night too, and I'm like, you know what?
I'm betting on the Rays.
I bet on the Rays tomorrow, but I didn't bet on them last game.
I will put everything. Yeah. I'll let you guys know that this was a series that was cursed.
Oh no!
I'm letting you guys be privy to this information.
Explain the context for the listeners.
Okay, so I think it's time to make the world aware of this curse that has gone on in my family for far too long. That's ruined my life for the past year. I've sent this to these guys via text, but I think it's time to finally put this on the podcast. I won't try and take up too much of the time, but last year, Cody Parkey goes up for a field goal to win the game, and my cousin Francesco goes and says, this game is over. The Bears won before he kicked the field goal. 3 seconds later, you bet he missed. Skip forward to this year, where we have the Thursday nighter versus the Rams and the Seahawks. The Rams all the way, guys.
Blows it.
What proceeds to happen? Yeah, Greg Zuerlein misses a 40 yard field goal, and the game is over. 2 for 2 right now. 2 days ago, 2-0 for the Astros in this series. The Rays, they don't stand a chance. This series is over. Dude, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? I understand that they're a very, very heavy favorite, but what the fuck are you talking about? It's playoff baseball.
Team,
anything can happen. So you guys don't know what you're talking about. These guys are going to win it all. And here we are.
The Astros are still the odds-on favorite to win the World Series, by a lot.
That's nuts.
I get that. Nuts. But you don't write this shit. I know.
Bet on the Yankees.
I might. I hate it, but I might. That team's so fucking good, man. They made the Twins look like a minor league team with a rotation that was supposed to be shit. And I'm like, Jesus.
Yep. And they had the best bullpen left.
The Twins are not something to just scoff at. They were the 4th best team in the playoffs of both leagues. And they set the record for home runs, I'm pretty sure. They had the most home runs this season. They just slug balls, and they scored what? Was it 5 total in the whole series?
It wasn't a lot.
with a rotation that everyone was just like, oh, the Yankees don't have it in them to do it. Maybe they might, because holy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, we can get off baseball now.
Okay. So we haven't recorded a podcast since last week, Wednesday.
Yeah, the day before the season.
And or did we even record?
I don't even know when we did one. It's been a while.
Because didn't the Leafs kick off Wednesday? Since the Leafs season opener?
No, we haven't recorded since the Leafs kicked off.
It's been a week, 2 weeks.
It's been 4 games of Leafs where we haven't covered anything. We've missed 4 Leaf games, so bottom line. There's a lot to cover then.
Should we go through them rapid fire?
No, we don't have a ton of time. I got to be done soon.
Okay. So,
all in all, they started 2-0 and now they're 2-1-1.
Well, so, to be fair,
they've lost 2 in a row.
They started 2-0 against with the last 2 losses, and then they played the Canadiens. Should have won that one. They blew it. Blew it hard.
They blew that one hard, yeah.
And then
let's
St. Louis
talk
is St. Louis, man. What are you gonna do? But
you lost to the Stanley Cup champions.
And it was a good game. They dominated the second period.
It was a good game. Yeah.
Nylander was flying. Nylander looks incredible this season. Yep. Matthews didn't quite look like he did in the first 3 games, but he was still out there doing shit. I think the Marner line needs help.
He kind of went quiet against the Blues, but they're just that good of a team that it's kind of hard
the
to
Marner
bust
line
loose
looks
against
terrible.
a team like them.
I just want to put that in there.
Yeah, 5-on-5, they haven't been looking great.
Like, obviously, they look great on the power play because, like, it's not just them. It's like, yeah, you have all these options now. So, like, you can either throw it. They had that one Marner's power play goal where the game before, he set up Matthews, and it was like, okay, so it was a Korpisalo in net for the Blues.
No, yeah. Yep.
He literally bit so hard, and he's like, he's going to Matthews, and then Tavares picks it off and hands it right back to Mitch, and he had the entire cage.
Yeah, that was a nice play.
Like, it's great. It opens up so many options, and it makes them look really good. But like at 5-on-5 right now, like Mitch is making some dumb passes, and I don't know if I don't know if he's gripping the stick too tight, and he's trying to make it look like he's worth 10.693 or whatever he's making.
10.893.
Thank you. Like,
I think that they really miss Hyman right now.
That line.
In terms of a gritty guy to get them the
hasn't looked good on that left side of the wing.
Kapanen is making me look really bad.
He's had a rough week.
Let alone that bonehead play. Yeah, we all know that one.
I called him scoring 75 points on our other podcast, and Kapanen. We do hot take. We do hot takes for the year.
That aged well. Like spoiled
dude, it
milk.
took a week for me to be like, oh, this is not going to be pretty. I thought, you know what, he's going to be great with Marner and Tavares. They're going to be an offensive line. They're going to get a lot of points. He's going to get a ton of assists because he's playing with those two. Mitch is going to gain him some assists, but Mitch has been bad, like, to say the least. Like,
no, but the thing that no one is giving Kapanen, I guess, credit for, or at least slack for, is he's never played left wing before.
I get that. I get that 100%.
That's fair. So, I mean, it's a new thing for her, but like, oof. It doesn't look good on me.
But something that's been looking great for the Leafs has been the power play.
And the power play. Yeah. Yeah, incredible. Looks, I mean, because temper your expectations, because
they're getting more chances than they ever have before.
They looked incredible last year to start the season.
Part.
And like, we're like, holy shit, this might be the best power play in the league. And did not finish well. But new coach, new assistant coach, different run power play. I love having Marner and Matthews down low. It looks so much better. So there's a chance. Yeah, dude. Matthews one-timer. Oh my God. It's nice.
He ran it off the post, to be fair, against St. Louis. He ran one off the post.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Legitimately, how many better shooters are there in the NHL than him?
Ovechkin.
Ovi.
Yep.
I don't put many more above him. Maybe Line A.
You can make a case for Line A. You can make a case for Line A.
If Matthews figures out this one-timer, no, it's not even close, because Line A doesn't have that wrist shot.
It's a fair point. I mean, if there's any other player aside from Ovi that I'm taking to hit 50, it's probably Matthews.
I put the poll up on our Instagram too.
Maybe Stamkos. I don't know.
I put that poll up on our Instagram, and it was like 63 to 47 or whatever it is. Like, it was close, or 37. Sorry.
Yeah,
that doesn't add up. That doesn't work. There's 110. Our followers give 110% every time there's a poll.
More like because that's what they think it adds up to. So one of the more concerning things with the Leafs, I guess, looking off of that Montreal game, which absolutely sucked as a fan to just watch, except we got the great Matthews moment to tie it up, was the Leafs did they hang out Hutchison to dry, or are you legitimately concerned about Hutchison?
Both?
A bit of... Do I think they hung him out to dry? Yes. But do I still think they need a backup? Yes.
Yeah, no, like it's
not even close. Yes, like spend the pick right now, get it done.
Man, there were so many options. Like is Garrett Sparks a worse option than Michael Hutchison?
Yes.
Honestly, you think so at his age?
I'd rather have Hutch.
Really?
I'd rather have Hutch.
How did the Habs get Keith Kincaid on their team?
Like, all these guys hit waivers. Seriously,
he's starting for them tonight.
All these guys hit waivers, and I'm like Louis Domingue? Like, you could have picked up Louis Domingue.
Yeah, for
real.
But
they're making more than mid.
The maneuver.
And so the thing with the cap space is basically that once Hyman and Dermott come back, then they're
fucked.
Exactly.
So apparently there's a clause too.
So that's why
Bob McKenzie was saying
get
that
another
there's
goalie.
a clause where it's like, if you play one game under 20 guys on your roster, then you can bring up another guy the next day without him counting towards the cap. So there's a strong chance the Leafs do that come like December.
Wait. So they play 19. With how many?
So if you have under 20.
And how many do they ice?
21? No. 5, 10, 15,
12,
6, 7, 17.
2.
No, sorry. What am I saying?
Oh, okay. So
what am I saying?
12, 6,
yeah, so how many scratches are you playing with then?
It's 19. So if you have no healthy scratches, essentially, then
so that's fine.
So basically,
that makes sense.
So basically, if there's no healthy scratches in the press box, then the next day you can bring up a guy for without him counting towards the cap. So I feel like that's going to be a regular thing for the Leafs.
Wow.
So.
Now that it would only count for that one game.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I didn't fully look up the rule.
Because then I would just say send everyone down and then bring Hyman back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be some major loopholes exploited because
they got
I don't trust Hutchison.
They've got Brandon Pridham.
And they're going to have to do something.
Brandon Pridham was the one that helped put these rules together. So I mean, if any team can do it, it's going to be the Leafs.
Take them apart. You put them together, now take them apart so we can exploit them. Can you show us
how you fuck this up so that we can abuse it? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Malkin and Galchenyuk both out for the Pens.
That's rest in peace of the Pens, because good luck, man. You cannot win this. You cannot win games with just Sidney Crosby. Sorry. You have Sid and Letang, and Letang's never healthy. Cheers. It's been nice knowing you. That's it.
You want to hear their lineup right now? Because it's pretty fucking
It was
awful.
frightening when they had Malkin and Galch, man.
All right. Gensel, Crosby, Dominic
Simone.
Apparently, Galchenyuk's in right now, but
he'll be out.
It says Galchenyuk, McCann, Tanev, Aston Reese, Teddy Bluger, and Patrick Horn. I thought Hornqvist was out.
Is he?
I thought he was. Lafferty, Dominic Cahoon, and John Marino. Who the fuck is that? It's awful.
That's ugly.
Rest in peace of the Pens. Thanks. Have fun. Get a lottery pick though.
It's been.
The problem is,
watch they get Alexis Lafreniere, and then they're just laughing.
Then they're a playoff team again.
That's how good teams extend their
Ramuski 1
run.
and Ramuski 2. Yo, that'd be two sick lines.
They have a first, right? They didn't trade it.
I don't think they spent it.
They seem to spend all of them, so I'm not sure if they do or not. Either way, man. Sorry, Pens.
I mean, it would be like the Steelers if they had traded their first round pick and then their quarterback was hurt and then their backup that they believed in was hurt, and now it's going to be a top 5 pick. Yo, that's bad now. The Dolphins, are they smart? Are they smart?
Apparently Minka wanted out, eh?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was
because we were arguing about why would you trade Minka? I'm like, well, apparently he didn't want to be there anyways.
Yeah, they played him at strong safety and he's a free safety or corner.
Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah, quick hot starts for the league. We'll keep the best for last.
Okay.
But Zibanejad, I mean, did you guys see the video of the kid in Ottawa with
the one that?
Okay. So basically, this kid, he had a sign that was basically, "Can I get a selfie?"
Oh, I think so.
A picture with Zibanejad, and then he did, and then it was like a preteen kid, and then he goes back to see his dad, and he's. The dad's just like consoling him, and he's just it was a heartfelt like just good feel moment, and then he scores 4 points, 3 goals, hat trick, and your return to Ottawa. Not bad. Me and Brant were talking about this, and it was like if they had just kept some of the guys that they had.
Oh my God!
Ottawa replaced their GM with a potato.
Silverberg, Zibanejad.
If they replaced their GM with a potato.
Duchesne, Carlson. Mark Mathod,
Robin Leonard,
Cody Cece's still there. Robin Leonard, Ben Bishop. Like, you have an all-star team.
It's unreal.
Craig Anderson now goes down to your AHL team because you've got 2 Vezina candidates above him.
Maybe he should be playing there.
He still could probably go down to your AHL team because, ouch, that guy sucks.
Yeah. Okay, so on Sunday night, Anthony Mantha scores 4 goals.
Gross.
How are you?
Welcome back. I think I might have mentioned him as a breakout player for that team. I don't know if we did, but this guy's gross. Could be good. Could be good on a really shit team who's not being that shit right now. So,
yeah. To be fair to that line, they've been real good.
4-1 or 3-1?
3-1.
I think that they should still be shit, but it's a good start.
Just let the kids play. At this point, there's nothing to lose. If you're gonna win games. It's gravy at this point. Like they're just playing for fun at this point. And if they're winning games, then so be it. It adds value to the players that they can move on from at the deadline. And boom, let Yzerman work some magic, gain some future assets, and move on. And
they have some decent prospects in their system, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, they always do.
They'll be a lottery team. They'll pick up apparently this draft class is disgusting. So if you're a lottery pick,
it is,
man, congrats. They'll be all right.
All right. The biggest one was last night's 4-goal game from the real deal, James Neal.
Yeah. He's back. Yeah. He's back,
and I was
baby.
upset because I'm like, man, I know it didn't work out in Calgary last year, but Calgary, aren't you kicking yourself? You take the guy, Milan Lucic, who has a $6 million AAV compared to Neal's 5.75. Not the biggest deal, but it is more.
I don't think you're kicking yourself for getting rid of James Neal. I think you're kicking yourself for your return. I think you should have got more than Lucic. Like, I understand that's kind of what Calgary needs because they're not all that tough. And like they had goal scorers. They got like they have guys that can put the puck in the net. You see Matthew Tkachuk's goal last night. Thank you.
Yeah,
the one where it should have been high.
It shouldn't have counted, but oh my god, the talent on that guy.
Let it count.
You got you got all these goal scorers. You don't really need James Neal, especially not to sit on that fourth line. Kind of useless. So yeah, it doesn't hurt to get rid of him, but like, that Lucic return is like you could have got a pick or something with it, especially because you paid more.
So I don't know if you saw the analysis on Sportsnet, but basically it was this guy saying James Neal was not going to be doing this for Calgary. He wouldn't be scoring 4 goals for Calgary.
Is he wrong?
They needed a tough guy. No. But it was like ridiculousness of like, oh, look at this hit that Lucic absorbs. And then look how he goes after the guy and starts hitting him. I'm like, yeah, sure. But don't pay a guy fucking $6 million to do that.
For real.
Go get Matt Martin for $2 million.
Yeah, it's a lot to pay for a guy like that. But like, you can't tell me that James Neal playing with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins isn't probably helping a little bit.
He's playing with Nugent right now.
On the power play, though, he's got all 3 of them out there, and it's like...
Regardless of who he was playing with, though, this guy's hit 20 goals in this season from 20... since freaking 2009. Really
good.
Like, it's been a full decade of him hitting 20 goals, aside from last year.
Take a look at those teams, apart from Vegas. Like, look who he's playing with.
Pittsburgh, sure, he played with Malkin. He hit 40 goals. But, I mean, still. Hold on. Played with Nashville 3 years. Hit 20 goals there. Hit 30 in one of them.
Nashville's good, man.
Regardless of where he's playing, like, he doesn't need that much time to settle in. Like, he's adapting and he's pumping out goals like crazy. Yeah. He had one off year.
In all seriousness, though, give Edmonton credit.
I will. No. For this one time, I'll give him credit.
He's legitimately their 4th best forward.
Yeah.
It's McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, and then James Neal.
And then it's not
and
even
close. He's a legitimate player on their team.
Four again.
He's on their power play.
Those 4 double shifting again is their next 4. And then it's probably their goalies as their best forward. And then it's the rest of their wingers because goddamn, their team sucks.
Now it's go do this a bunch of more times.
It looks great.
It's scary how much. It's scary how much time they get on the ice.
We're in week 2, man. Yep. They're gonna die.
They should have made the deal for Connor Brown.
Yep. Dude, are you kidding me? They should have picked up Josh Hosang. They should have picked up who else went on waivers? There's like 4 or 5 guys that went on waivers that you're like, these guys are way better than your wingers. Pick one up. No.
Yep.
Of course not.
Yep.
I mean, how many times have they gone through this though? They did it with Ryan Strome. They did it with Ryan Spooner. Like they've exhausted a couple guys who went in the first round.
Given up assets to get those too.
Nick Petan would have been perfect on this team.
Nick Petan was another one that went through waivers. Thank you. Like, like, oh my god, so many just bad. It's just bad. Their team sucks. I hate it. Next.
But what's the record?
Who cares, man? It's week 2.
Screw Edmonton, but I mean, I'll give them credit. This one time, it paid
James
off.
Neal looked great.
You got rid of the worst contract, arguably, in the entire NHL, and you turned it into a guy who's going to possibly score 30 goals, assuming he's healthy.
I told the James Neal story.
He'll at least make it a very strong case for 30 goals.
Hey, with your team, that's not a bad contract. It's not.
I've told you my James Neal story with my brother, right? I might have told it before. Either way, so we went to Boots and Hearts, and so he runs into Taylor Hall. He goes, "Holy shit, you're Taylor Hall!" So he goes up and he's like, "Can I get a picture?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." So he hands his phone to the guy standing beside him. The guy standing beside him walks around, takes a picture of him and Taylor Hall and a couple of his buddies, and he looks up and goes, "Holy shit, you're James Neal." And he's just like, "Can I get a picture with you?" He's like, "Fuck off." Hands him his phone back, walks away.
No way.
Good.
So fucking funny, dude. Because he had no idea, right? Like he just saw Taylor Hall. He's like, holy shit, that's Taylor Hall. Didn't even think to look around at who was around him. Just hands his phone to the next guy. Next guy happens to be James Neal.
So man.
So James Neal
took a picture of him and Taylor Hall.
Jeez, I'd be pissed if I was James Neal.
That's unreal.
Funny story, though. That's great.
It's hilarious. I loved it. I died for like an hour straight. It was so funny.
All right. So is that everything?
I think we got most of it. We'll be back on Saturday.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk MMA then. It was a fun fucking fight. All right. We all agree New England over the Giants?
That's not even close.
Okay. So that's it for this week. We'll see you guys hopefully Saturday. Peace.